Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Gold Report. We'll also cover silver quickly as well, and the date is the 24th of November. So we are still in wave 4 here. Wave 4s typically can get rather complicated. Also, we're at a major level here, the 2000, which we call a major trading level 2. The support down from that, the next level, the next important number down is the 1800 at this point. And the support for the 1800 is subgroup 2 in here, which will be 1780 and 1772 and 1765. We'll look at that on an intraday basis in a moment. So we are getting a complicated wave 4, and it still may even get more complicated as well. We've been expecting it to move lower. I think it may even just breach that space here. What we can do is we can count, because it's a complicated correction, we could count this down here in 3 waves. There'll be support obviously on this trend line here as well, so you can just be mindful of that. So we could count this C wave down here in 3 waves, or we can count it down here in, oopsie daisy, let's just clean that up here a little bit. Or we can count it down from the top here as 1 and 2 here, so that would be 1 and 2 here, and then wave 3 here, wave 4 and 5 poking a little bit lower in here, and then we can look to build long. Once we get an impulse wave to the upside, so a 5-wave sequence to the upside, that will leave us to the upside at that point. Now, even coming back up, I have to point out, coming back up to this point here as well is also going to be a problem area as well, because this wave 4 could even get more complicated. Just to point that out, just so you don't, get sort of all churned up and excited. I mean, we could even end up with a much larger and much more complicated correction coming over into this space. So we just need to be mindful of that. It's probably not the case, but I don't want you to get lost in profits if you bought low here thinking that we're going to be cruising way up here, and we probably will, but we're seeing Bitcoin move up, so we're seeing a lot of retailers move into the coin market, so yeah, and wholesalers as well, of course, commercials. So anyway, let's go in and just check this out a little bit here first on the intraday 4-hour chart. So last time we spoke, I'll just bring it back in here, wave 3 over here, and A wave here, A, B, C for the B wave here. So that's all quite fitting, all fits quite nicely. So we looked at this in 2 ways. We looked at it coming down here as an A and a B and a C wave here, finishing at wave 4 here. And that would be that trend line coming through. So that's, it's possible that that can be a low in here. So if that's the case, we'd still need to see an impulse wave to the upside. So if you can't work out an impulse wave, then you can look at the support. So these levels in here, 1865, 1872 and 1880, if that becomes the support, then you can move in long from that point, okay? Otherwise, we're going to be looking down here further for this. So I think we need to understand this particular count here in the 5 waves, which in a nutshell will be wave 1 and 2 here, and then we would see this down here in 3 waves, and wave 4 and then wave 5 coming down at that point. So we can look for that here. I'll just get an idea of that here for that. So yeah, that's about right. Just clean this up a bit. I don't need a lot of these lines. So I'm also just going to dull this out here because I don't really think it's the case. So just as a secondary count, it's possible, but we just need to gather some more information on that, such as an impulse wave straight up to this point. Otherwise, let's just go to the hourly chart and understand this move down through here a little bit better. So we've got our big bad B wave up here, and we're looking for 5 waves down. I'll squash that in. Okay, so yeah, this is what I was thinking. I was thinking as wave 1 here, and ABC for wave 2, and then looking at this here as wave 1 here, back for wave 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, and the fifth wave. Yes, I know that it overlaps with this spike in the market, and it's probably a case just to count that straight down there as well. But whichever way you look at it, this would be the best fit to have this as 1 and 2 here. You could count it down correctively, of course, as well. This little third wave here is just bouncing off the well, from the 1800, we've got 10, 20, and 30 that make up group 1. So we always get a bounce off 1. Normally it just goes back from the 30. That's what it is. It should be at the 30. From the 30, it normally is sitting on 33. So I'll just put that on 30, which 33 is these are sub-levels. So 33 would be a micro level. We can always expect a bounce off number 3. It normally goes back to number 4 at 4, but sometimes can push up to 5 and then collapse from that point. So it's always good to understand that, but always shorting, you'll always see a bounce off that number. So I just looking at this, I'm not going to go to the intraday, but I think that we'll get some sort of correction here and then a little move down to finish off that for wave 3, and then a little AB4 still dancing around the top of group 1 with the 20 there, 10, 20, and 30, and then this move down here. So I could shape that up a little bit like that, bring that across here for this. Then we could look at wave 2, let's just take it down to the 1800, and we can see that we'll get some type of larger correction into this space, back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, 1838 roughly, and then we'll look at wave 5 coming down into this space here. I think the number 1772 is going to be really important in this space. It's funny, I mean, I'm always working with 72 anyway. It's, you know, I mean, where Gann and Elliott meet, I guess, or Gann and Fibonacci, they meet at 144, and half of that is 72. And when I find if I get, you know, the numbers, and which I don't fully understand, but it's just from observation, this one here is 772. All right, so I normally find that for some strange reason, it becomes a much stronger number with that 7 in it, or it could be a 2 in front of that. It could be 272, and that acts as a really strong number as well. So 772 and 272 based on that 72 for some reason just carry a little bit more weight than a normal 72. God knows why, but just through observation. So we can clear this out of the way. So look, that's about my best shot at understanding this particular structure here. So I probably won't put a video out until this unfold. Well, last time I put the video out was wave 2 here, and we looked to go short through that. I mean, I just need to explain that too, because the market came down here, so it came down, and then we were looking for an A and a B and a C wave coming back here. So normally we just draw the line across here. So that line, if this pulls back really deeply here, then you get that real shallow sort of thing here. So if you're short, well then that's the short area at that point, and this would be the target area down here, or at least taking half off the table here, carrying through this, and then looking for this move down through here if you wanted to do that. But look, shorting in the final stages of a trend, you know, it's not the most comfortablest journey, right? So just give that some consideration. Sometimes you're just better off taking your profit, stop pushing buttons for a little while, and then give this next trend some consideration. You know, are you going to be in it for the long haul, or, you know, how are you going to scale, and spend your time, you know, creating a really detailed sort of plan and variations on that in case other things happen. But I will put another video out when we're down in this space here, right? And then we'll try and pick that thread up at that point. We'll have a quick look at silver. Just on the 4-hour chart. So we could probably do this the same as well if we looked at, well, let's just, I can see a case for a different move here for this. But I'll just match it up first and then you can throw tomatoes. So, I mean, there's a case for putting wave 1 here, by the way. So I'll just, now that I've seen that, I need to check on it. So I'm just going to dull that out here. But apart from that, we can look at this coming down here as wave 3, 4, and 5 here for this. I mean, because essentially we want to be taking this low out down here, right? So we still need to come further down with all of this, because this is all corrective here, you know, unless we got a tested support on top of the 25. And yeah, sure, maybe we could have gone long here and been, if it dropped below the level, we would have been stopped out. But really, all of these are the first high above the levels because they're all in their own little space. So first high above the level, sometimes you get a second high. So that you have to wait for it and then go into it at that point, because that saves you being long at that point, you know. So then you need your second leg up here, you know. So that classic trading levels pattern that I'm always harping on about, it's simple, but it's actually effective, and there's a fair bit behind it as well, you know. It's like the trading levels, they're useful, they're practical. Still use your indicators, and, you know, I mean, they're like learning wheels. But after a while, once you know the calculations, you don't need them, because you just know things, you know. Like if the market was going to go back up here, well, then all your stochastics and RSIs will be flatlining, especially if it moves up, and then you'll have to go to another higher degree to try and understand it. So interpreting the price is half of the picture. The other half of the picture is the volume. And then you've got your pattern recognition to recognize things, to read things, like a musician reading a score of music across here. You know, the Elliott wave is understanding those notes, that heartbeat. So anyway, look, far as the crow flies, wave A here, wave B. So we should be making a new low below here. So down here somewhere, yeah. Is where you'd be looking at. Once again, you're going to get bounces off 3 here, which we've got. This one was strong here, so it took a while to grab hold of it. This one bounced off here. This bounce won't be as severe here. It will just be, it will still give you grief, but it should push lower. How far will this come down? I don't know. We'll just continue to count the waves. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate that. Cheers.